10 years ago, the attention of the world was focused on the Far East as Japan and Korea hosted the 17th edition of the FIFA World Cup. Japan's national team, in only their second finals, topped their group to progress to the knockout stages for the first time. A fair part of the team's success was down to the form of midfielder Junichi Inamoto.
It was my first ever World Cup, and it was the first time there'd been a tournament with co-hosts, that's Japan and Korea. So everything was new for me. Everyone around me seemed to be making a fuss, but personally, I was able to stay calm, and I tried not to get too excited. I believe the effect of me doing that helped us get through the first round and helped me score 2 goals.
One of those goals was the winner in a man-of-the-match performance against Russia.
The goal I scored in the Russia game gave us our first ever win in a World Cup match and our first ever 3 points. So that game was my most memorable.
At the time, Inamoto was one of a number of Japanese players plying their trade in Europe, and they helped nurture the idea that they could compete in the world's top leagues.
It wasn't just me. There'd already been Hidetoshi Nakata and Kazuyoshi Miura, and a few other players. They were demonstrating the sort of qualities that Japanese players had, and they were paving the way for many more players to go to Europe. I think it's not just me. The quality of all those other players was a major influence in how we were perceived.
The 32-year-old first made his name in Europe in the English Premier League, where he played for Arsenal, Fulham and West Bromwich Albion. And it was whilst at Fulham that the midfielder scored his most memorable goal in the English game, a well-worked team move in a 3-1 victory against Manchester United.
England was the first foreign country I played in, and the fact that I played there for 5 years helped my confidence. After that, I went to 3 other countries, and I managed to use my experiences from England to adapt to the conditions in those countries.
Inamoto made his international debut in 2000. He eventually won 83 caps for his country and helped Japan become a regular participant at the FIFA World Cup finals.
In terms of the World Cup, the fact that we've played in Germany and South Africa, as well as our own tournament in Japan, means that the level of the Japanese team has risen. In those 3 tournaments, the fact is that we got to the knockout stage on 2 occasions. I think that's proof that Japan's standard is improving.
Following the World Cup in South Africa, he went back home to the J-League and joined Kawasaki Frontale.
10 years ago, I was one of the youngest, and now I've returned, I'm suddenly the oldest. So I feel a bit like the figure of Urashima Taro from folklore, who returned to his village after hundreds of years. I have a lot of experience, so I'd like to use that to contribute to the team.
This season has been a struggle for both player and club. The team sacked coach Naoki Soma after only 5 games. They currently sit in mid-table in the J-League, and Junichi has been out injured for the last month.
The coach was changed only a month after the season started, so I think there's been a certain amount of confusion. We haven't yet been able to impress our fans in terms of results, but since the new coach arrived, our performances have steadily got better, and I believe we'll soon have the results to show for it. Hopefully the fans won't have to wait too long.
In the short term, a return from injury is of immediate concern for the Japanese star. Long term, though, despite having already achieved a great deal, Junichi Inamoto remains ambitious.
My first aim is to win the title with my current team Frontale. And of course, representing Japan at the World Cup in Brazil is a personal goal. But looking ahead, I think I'd just like to continue playing football for as long as I possibly can.